is. Yay! Someone's joining. There it is. And then I'm going to go ahead and paste.
No. Oh, yeah. Is that right?
Yeah, okay. But so how do you pin it?
Hi, Jerry.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Wow. Yeah, we can hear you. We can see you well. How about you? Can you hear us and see us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you good. I'm actually shackled up in my parents' room right now, so I got the doors shut. So I got the laptop going, so hopefully the audio is going to be good.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for joining us this evening. Everything sounds, it's looking good. Cross our fingers that it works out.
There we go.
Well, tonight, thank you. I want to actually turn up the volume a little. Do you know how to do that, Michelle?
Turn up the volume?
Yeah, I can't really hear him that well. Right here? No? Okay. That's okay.
I can yell.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly fine.
How was your little trip? We saw in your stories.
Good.
Yeah?
It was good. Yeah, it was much needed. The dogs needed to kind of get out of the house, so we got to take them, walk them around and all that stuff, and it was fun. We got to chill in Lazy River in the pool and all that stuff, so it was cool.
Very nice.
Yeah, much needed. No one misses any work. Like, my wife still has her full-time job, so we can leave Saturday morning, go for the day, come back Sunday, and
nice. Where are you located, Jerry?
I'm in Tampa, Florida.
Oh no, must be humid and hot, huh?
I was just gonna say it's hot. Like, that's an understatement. It is beyond hot. Like, you walk outside to eat the mail and you're sweating. Like, it's unnecessary. Unnecessary.
It's pretty warm here in California, but I can't stand the humid part of it. You just start sweating as soon as you walk out.
Yeah. I'm cool if there was no sweating. Like, if it was hot, I'd be fine. But once I'm sweating, not doing nothing physical, I'm not very happy about that.
Totally agree. I mean, I guess we're kind of lucky. We're in Southern California. I don't know if you knew that or not. Like, LA based, yeah. So it's hot still, but it's a little drier. So we do feel, I've been in that weather before. It's tough.
Yeah, it's
but
fun.
Not fun. Well, if we could get started. So this is, his name is Jerry Cummings. Sorry, Jerry Cummings.
Yeah,
Did I say your last name right?
Yeah, you said it right.
Okay, so I'm Marina. This is Michelle.
Yes.
And we're the Flipping Gals. We actually do the same thing, I believe. We sell on the same platforms, but what we really wanted to get started with was your story. You have a really interesting story that got you into the resale business.
Correct.
And I was watching one of your YouTube videos, and in the video you mentioned that this is something that you needed to do. So I think you kind of covered that in your story, but would you mind just starting off by telling us your story?
Yeah, no problem. All right, so long story short, me and my wife, we had our house, we had our dogs. Our dogs are our kids, right? So we had our house, we had everything set up. Everything was going good. We had just bought a camper, like a little 17-foot camper. We take it out on little weekend adventures, and that was our kind of our thing. We do little hotels too, but the camper became our little thing. So fast forward, to when both of my parents got sick. They both got sick, and they needed somebody to kind of take after them. And it's your family. You gotta take care of them no matter what, right? Yeah. So we did what we had to do. We got rid of the house. We actually moved into the camper next door. So I'm in their house now, and our camper is literally right next door to the house. So I've got like an Ethernet cord running around the house into the camper, so I have Wi-Fi, and
nice.
We got a full shower and refrigerator, all that kind of stuff. But it's literally me and my wife and the two dogs in the camper, and then we share. My parents' house is like the main living space. I run my business from here, and it's tough sometimes. So they got sick. We said, okay, let's we got to do what we got to do. So we had moved back. At that point, my mom was kind of in the hospital a lot too, so we were kind of going back and forth. My wife had kind of stayed in her job, her full-time job. I had kind of stayed in my job for a little bit, and then it kind of got a little tougher because I was always requesting off, and it was something where I just needed to kind of just be home a lot, So long story short, we moved back. We kind of, came here to help, and then I just got this idea. Well, me and my father-in-law, we kind of both decided, like, hey, let's try the reselling gig, because he had just left his job. I tried to work with him a little bit. I left my job in collections because I did that for a couple of years, and I went with him to work at his job as a sales manager. I knew nothing about a machine shop because that's the industry he was in. But he knew I was always in sales and said, hey, why don't you come be our sales manager? I was like, well, the only problem is I don't know nothing about what I'm selling. I don't know about no machine shop stuff. I don't know about none of this stuff. So, I took the gamble, went there, made a bunch of good money. And long story short, him and the boss kind of fell out and he just stopped working for the company. So it left me there kind of awkward. I had just left my job where I was like on top of everything. I was the head of the fraud department. Like I had been there for a long time. I was doing fantastic. And I was like, you know what? I was tired of it, and then he left his job and then I'm there by myself. Things started to get a little awkward. The boss starts treating me a little different. I'm like, you know what? I'm out of there. So I leave. And then me and him kind of started this reselling business. He's the one that goes with me, my father-in-law, my wife's dad. Mm-hmm. He goes with me every Friday and Saturday garage and estate sale. And we still do it. We just did it this past Friday. I go and I pick them up. We go around. We get everything. So I started to do it kind of just to have an income, to pay the bills along with my wife and just to be able to be here, So that's kind of what I've been doing. So I hit the ground running like I always do with everything. I, logged on to YouTube. I watched video after video, like Rally Roots, Reezy Reese. I mean, you name it. All the YouTubers that you can think of. That's all I watched. I didn't watch any cable. I didn't do anything. No matter what I did, I was on YouTube and I was watching these videos. I sunk in everything you could think of as far as knowledge, tricks of the trade, and just started winging it. Like I'm still winging it to this day. I'm still just every day's new. Every day I'm learning something. I'm teaching people, but I'm still learning.
Yeah. So sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. First of all, I love your energy. That's something that really attracted me to your account right away because, and those of you who are maybe watching for the first time or who know Jerry already, this is who you are, like 24/7. It seems like. Do you drink coffee or is this natural?
You know what's funny about that? I actually have, for an honor with you guys, I have coffee right now.
Oh, nice.
I went probably like 33 years of my life not drinking coffee, not liking coffee.
Oh.
Not coffee until maybe like a year ago, maybe.
Oh, really?
Now I can't function without it. My wife makes fun of me because it's not really coffee. It's like maybe 75% coffee, a bunch of milk, a bunch of creamer, and it's got to taste good. It can't be like that coffee.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah, we're both coffee drinkers, and we like it for the taste. It doesn't really do anything for us.
Yeah.
I get a little buzz off it, but that's just how I'm always like this. I was the class clown in high school. I was senior class vice president and class clown same year. I've always been like an outgoing kind of person. I've always got energy. That's just how I am. Some people are like that. Some people are.
That's awesome.
Late. Some people are on 10 all the time. I'm on 10 all the time.
Yeah. And I feel like that definitely is something that would be helpful in this business because there's so much to do. And so like, just to kind of backtrack a little bit on your story, when you said that you stopped your secular job and it kind of just worked out with your circumstances, would you say that was like January of this year, around that time?
Yeah, it was right at about January because my father-in-law had left about December, like first week of December, and I was there for maybe 2 more weeks. So I would say right around about Christmas time, give or take. Like I would say the first week of January. It was like just me and the reselling game. Like that's it. My wife was going to work every day. I was just out there winging it.
Is that oh, sorry. Go ahead. I cut you off.
No, that's what I was just saying. I was just out there doing whatever I could. That's it.
Yeah, so that brings me to the next question. Like, is that something that you knew about prior to January? Like, were you familiar with the whole reselling business? No? How did you discover it?
I've always sold on eBay. Like, I've had an account since 2007. Me and my wife would go to the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Lightning. We would go to the hockey games because we had season tickets, and they would give away little giveaways at every game. So I would take them and I would just sell them. I'd go on eBay that night and sell them. Much of money, and I always did that as a kid. I would sell little Super Nintendos and stuff like that. Like I would go to the pawn shop, buy one for $10 and flip it for $50.
Nice.
Like I've done that, but I wasn't selling nothing on eBay. Like if you looked at my account history from December of 18 January of 18 to December of 18, hardly anything. Like literally a couple orders maybe, and then come January, it's just like, all right, let's do it. I went to Walmart. I was flipping clearance items. Like I was paying $1 or $2 for clearance items and putting them in little bundles and flipping them for $15. And I did that. Like I was working hard. Like the money I was making, I wasn't working smart. I was working hard. I started the hard way, and then I finally got, progressively better. But it was tough. It was a tough start.
Yeah. I definitely feel like that's kind of how it goes with everything. There's a learning curve, and that's just how you learn, right? That's just part of the you have to fail to learn game, and it's so true. You really just have to go out there and fail a bunch of times to improve.
Oh, yeah.
You also have to keep believing in it, because at times I kind of gave up mentally, because you buy a bunch of stuff and then you list them on eBay and then there are no bites, and so I'm like, maybe this is not working out. But Marina is the one who actually believes strongly 100% in this, and that's how we kept going.
It is. It's you gotta believe, and you gotta keep at it, because there's little memes on the internet where it says, like, I forget how they are, but something like, one day I wake up and I have a whole bunch of orders and I'm the reselling king.
Yeah.
Next day I have no orders and I don't want to do reselling anymore.
Yeah.
Like those little memes.
Yeah,
it's true. You'll have days where you're like, this is my jam. Like, I'm good at this. Like, we're killing it. Like that. And then there's days where you're like, okay, hello, no orders. Anybody? Let me run a sale. 50% off, take it. Like anything. And I still do that. I'm still running sales on something that it should be X amount, and I'm like, all right, here, just take it 25% off. Just so you want it, take it. I need a sale today. I'm out here trying to quick flip everything, so it's tough. You just got to stay at it. That's the craziest part. Take it. Just
Yep. Oh, sorry, one second.
Are we good? I want to open the chat just to make sure.
Okay, yeah, no problem. So you mentioned that you were like watching videos, like you didn't really know much about it. How long would you say? How many hours? How many weeks would you say in January did you spend learning the craft, if you will?
Jeez. See, I'm the kind of person I am, as you could probably tell, is when I get started in something, I go 100%. So I'm talking about from the minute I woke up. Even if I was doing something, I have my phone, I'm in the bathroom, I got my phone in my hand, I'm watching videos. It would be to where every night I'm sitting there with my phone in my hand, or I'd have the Xbox on. I'm sleeping like half awake. Look, oh yeah, it's already shipping. Okay, so it's cubic. Okay, we're using regional. Okay, and then tomorrow, next day, I wake up and I'm like, all right, what are we learning today? Okay, today we're learning about packaging. Okay, like I'm still doing it literally every night. Same thing. Like I'm watching every single night. I'm growing. I'm learning. It's like a never-ending battle. So
you're saying basically, like, since you started in January, you still do that now? You still learn and watch videos?
That's all I watch is YouTube. I don't watch anything else hardly ever. We used to watch all these dumb reality shows and just, we still watch a couple because happy wife, happy life, but now it's just YouTube. It's YouTube. Now it's Instagram too. Now the Instagram's getting bigger. You can watch people's stories and you get so much knowledge. That's what people don't understand. There's so much free knowledge out there. There's people trying to sell you courses and there's so much free stuff out there.
There is.
I give away all my stuff. I help you. I don't charge nobody for nothing. There's so much free information. All you got to do is just soak it in. It's just how much time do you want to put into it? How much do you want to learn? How much, you watch one video a day and you're wondering why you're not really doing that good. You watch 10 videos a day, you're doing great. And you're like, okay, now I get it. It's the more you learn, the more you make.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And sorry, there's a little bit of an echo. Michelle, can you exit there we go. Sorry about that. So yeah, I totally agree with that. There's everything online, available to you for free on YouTube. I'm actually a teacher part-time, and I tell my students that. I'm like, why are you here? Like, you don't have to be here. You can learn everything online for free. But there's different reasons why like students will go to school to get like a coach or like pay for classes, because if you have the extra money just sitting around and you want to do it fast, that might be working for you. But if you don't have the money, if your capital is really low, you don't have to worry about that, because you could find millions of things, like you said, online for free, and you're like living proof of that, and so are we.
Oh yeah, I'm always like that. I'm all about the free stuff. I'm all about working my time for free. Yeah, if I have to pay for it, I'm pretty upset. Like I feel like it's a challenge. Like, okay, if I need to figure out, like when drop shipping was big, there was a guy I would watch all the time, Paul Lipsky, and he was pushing his course, and his course is super expensive. I go online real fast, download it. It takes 2 seconds. Most people they're not going to know it. I go and download it real fast, watch it. And the value that I got out of that was completely zero compared to like 1 or 2 videos I would watch from somebody else that would thoroughly explain something. This is somebody that's just taking a small little course, chopping it up into like little pieces and saying, okay, lesson 1's going to be, you're going to learn how to write your name. Like, it's nothing that's really teaching you. And I'd rather try to get it the right way, the organic way, the good old fashioned, put the hard work in, look around, the more because you're going to stumble on other stuff. Like, if I'm looking for something on packaging and shipping, I might then stumble on somebody else's video about bolos to look for. And all of a sudden, I know about clothes and shoes and all this other stuff when I wasn't looking for that in the first place. So it all works out.
Yeah, and a couple things. So you just said bolo. I was still trying to figure out what that meant a couple of days ago. Would you mind telling everyone what that is?
Bolo. Dude, I don't even really know at the top of my head. It's like, be on the lookout for or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I looked up. Yeah,
I didn't know either. Like for the longest time, for like a couple months in, I didn't really know either. I just heard like, oh, this is a bolo. And of course, I just put two and two together. Like, okay, bolo equals something I need to know about. But then finally someone was like, oh, yeah, bolo. I'm like, oh,
so
duh.
So what does that mean to you, bolo? Be on the lookout.
Just something that you should be looking for. Like, so say you go into the thrift store and someone's like, oh yeah, a bolo is these Jordans, if you see Jordans, that's a good bolo. And you're like, all right, oh, okay, so I get it. So if I go in there and I find a pair of Jordans, that's something I should be on the lookout for. So if I'm looking around, I'm like, okay, I walk in the thrift store, oh, Jordans, oh, polo, Jordan, boom. You put two and two together and all right, this is what I need to pick up. This is stuff I need to look for. So that's what a lot of people say when they mean that.
Oh, exactly. Thanks for explaining that. Yeah, so it just means what Jerry said was like, it's like a heads up if you're trying to sell something that's hot, like a hot item, then some people will post a picture on Instagram. They might post like how much it's worth, how much it sells for, and then they might write the words in capital letters BOLO. Yeah. And then so that's something you should be looking for because it could really increase your profit game, right? For your reselling business. So do you have any specific bolos that you recommend right now to the audience?
The easiest, so if people are getting started, one of the easiest things I tell people to pick up are remote controls, like just regular remotes for TVs, for anything, and power adapters. So like laptop chargers, power adapters, they go to printers and anything, like any kind of any power. The bigger it is, like the more intricate it looks, remotes too, or if the remotes have like a little screen on them, or if they've got a million buttons and the more intricate it is, the more it's worth. And they're easy to list. They're easy to ship. It's an easy product to flip, and it's fast, easy money. So if you're looking for something to start out, and you go to a garage sale, people will have them. You pick up a remote that might be worth $30 on eBay. Someone's going to want 25 cents or 50 cents for it. Same with power adapters. I buy bags of them for $2-3, and they'll come with 20 adapters, and they'll sell anywhere from 12 to I sold one for like $90. It was like a power chair adapter a couple weeks ago, $90, and then one for 57, I think it was. 2 different power chair adapters. Anything. And that's little easy things to pick up that you don't have to go and know, well, what kind of remote it is. No, you just look at the remote. It'll tell you a couple digits. It'll say like RMT9726. You put that in eBay right away. It'll bring up all the remotes. You go to filter by the sold comps, because obviously what people are asking for now versus what it sells for are 2 totally different things. That's what people get a lot of time mixed up. So you just hit sold comps, go down, filter by, if you want to filter by most recent, you want to filter by highest. That's what I do. I filter by the highest, and I see what's sold. So if I have that single remote, I want to know the highest it's sold for, because that's what I want to try to list mine at. Because I'm going to try to run a sale. I'm going to try to send you an offer and do all that other stuff. I don't want to list mine at the selling price, and then also somebody and I put offer, get an offer, and someone offers me $5 less, and I'm like, oh, I kind of want to sell it. So no, I want to set myself up for success. But those are 2 of my main ones I tell everybody.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. Those are great. Actually, something that we never explicitly thought about. Like we found out about the remote recently because we picked up some like VHS DVD recorders, and that's a bolo that we recommend. People sell those for like $5, $10, $15, and we sold ours for over $100. And then if it has a remote, it's worth more. Yeah. And like Jerry just said, if it doesn't, people are looking for it. I just
bought a remote. I just bought a remote too. When I just got back from vacation, there was one sitting on my desk that I purchased for one of my units that I got. Because I'm with you. Any VHS DVD combo, you want to buy it like almost all the time. Big Sony, LG, brands like that, always so good. And like you said, if you could put a remote with it, even something as simple as some AV cables, some of the yellow, red, and white cables, you throw in a blank VHS tape with that too, that you can buy for 10, 25 cents at a garage sale. You got a nice looking combo. Your default picture is that player, the remote, the little AV cables, a blank VHS cassette. That is going to stand out far more than someone that's just got that ugly picture of just the player by itself and no remote. So I just purchased one. I paid $8, bought the remote for my unit, it'll instantly up the value $25. As long as I put the combo looking right, I put the cables, I put the picture looking good, I can list mine confidently much more than somebody that just has just the player, and then you're good.
Totally agree with that. And you can't really go wrong with like what you said with the cables and the remotes where you're paying like cents or dollars. Like if you'll go home and test it, obviously, right? Because you don't know if it's going to work before you sell it. Or if you don't do that, like we have vintage cameras that we sell, we'll just say, well, we don't know that they're working. And you just, whatever it is that you are doing, you want to make sure that you highlight that in your description so that your sale goes well.
Yeah, always want to put the untested. If you haven't tested it, just untested. You can be honest. You don't have. Some people think that if it's untested, you have to put 4 parts not working and then put untested. You don't have to do that. You can still sell it as used, but just put in the description, big caps, untested. Look, I got this at an estate sale. It powers on. I don't know nothing about it.
Yeah.
Here you go. And that's it. And then if people want to gamble on it and buy it, they buy it. If they don't, they don't.
That makes sense. So Jerry, question for new resellers. How did you start? Did you start from eBay and then expanded it to Mercari and then Amazon? Like how did this all happen for you?
Yeah, I didn't start Amazon till the end of June. Okay. I just started Amazon recently.
It's like us.
Mercari was a couple months ago because somebody had just told me out of nowhere. Like I'd never heard of Mercari. I had already been a couple months on eBay, and someone was like, "Oh yeah, you should try Mercari. You'll get more money there." And I was like, my car, what? I don't know. What's wrong with my car? Like, I don't know about no more, So I looked it up, and of course, I'm the kind of person where, okay, if you're telling me that this is somewhere where I can try to sell some more things, log on to that. And I firmly believe in cross-posting. So if I have something listed on eBay, 9 times out of 10, it's also listed on Mercari, Poshmark, it's listed locally. You want to list it, in my opinion, in the most places possible to be able to have yourself a sale. And some people will counter back and say, well, what if it sells on Mercari and eBay on the same day? It's not going to happen. It rarely does that happen. If it does, you just be honest and say, look, or not even be, don't be honest. Most of the time I say be honest, but not in this situation. Just say something like, hey, when I tried to get the unit, I was going to package it up. I noticed it was damaged. I didn't want to sell it. Do you mind if I give you a refund? They say, yeah. Customer, wanted to cancel, and then you're good. But I've never had that happen. I cross-post all day. I sell everywhere, and I've never had one thing sell on 2 platforms, so I don't worry about that. But I do believe in cross-posting. That's huge to me.
Yeah, we're on the same page. It's so funny. Everything you're saying, we agree with, and like we literally just met today, right? And that's just like amazing. We're totally agree with you. We do the same thing. So what would you say out of the 4 platforms are you killing it on the most?
Definitely still eBay. eBay because I still have the most things listed. Now I was gonna say I enjoy selling on Facebook Marketplace the most, but I don't because hopefully not a lot of people are gonna take this the wrong way, but there's a bunch of idiots on Facebook Marketplace. Like it almost feels like pulling teeth trying to make deals with people because they don't read descriptions, they don't listen, they're just out there trying to lowball you. You got something for $60, you're gonna get a message 30 with a question mark. It happens all the time. So I like Facebook Marketplace because in my eyes, those deals didn't really happen. Like they're just deals that I'm doing on the side. But eBay's definitely bringing in the most money. I've got the most inventory for eBay. I've got the most things listed on eBay. I've got the most sales from eBay right now. But Amazon's creeping up. We just messed with the repressor. Because we do our books like you guys do books, and we haven't had a repressor yet. We didn't invest in one. So Friday night, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. It's a free trial. It's not going to hurt nothing. So after hours of watching YouTube videos and trial and error, I set the repricer up. We sold 17 books and video games yesterday, which for us is a lot. That's way more.
Wow.
We're at 10 right now for the day. So that's almost over 30 books and video games within 2 days. And for us, that's a lot.
That's fantastic.
So our eBay's up 80% right now, which is fantastic. Over for 30 days. So our 30-day total is up 80%. And then Amazon, I think, is now like almost 70%. We're up over.
Wow, that's really great.
We're just trying to put the work in.
That's really great. Yeah, and like you're just learning, applying, testing, and seeing what works, right?
Trial and error all day. Throw it to the wall, seeing it sticks.
Right. I did have a question about your repricer. What's the name of the program again? Is it just Reprice It?
Yeah, reprice it.
Reprice it. Okay. Yeah. So I was wondering because I'm the one that lists on Amazon, and sometimes I do put some really low profit margin on there just because we're new and we just need the volume right now. So I was wondering, like, on using a repricer, does it automatically also reprice your low profit margin options?
Yeah, you can put it's got different like triggers and filters. So you can put when I first did it, right, I set everything up and I just set it to reprice everything. And I didn't listen. Most people said, the box that says don't make it live, don't click that. And I was like, that's fine, so I just made everything live. So when I went back through and I got the report, I saw that some things were changed from like $12 down to like $5.79. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, I can't make money off $5.79. The $5.79 is no good. And then I went back and watched another video, and they said, look, when you do the repricer, don't have them because it's trying to have it match FBA and the merchant, prices. And you don't want to try to compete with the merchant, especially not in books, because that's not the deal. You want to just match the FBA prices. So once I got it set up to where it just matched the FBA prices, and then I set a filter so that it wouldn't reprice anything lower than like $7.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So if the lowest price was like $6 and change, I'm not going that low. I know at least $7 or $8, I'm still making some sort of a profit, whether it's $1, $1.50. And I don't want to drop. I'm not trying to sell books to make a negative profit.
No.
This morning I went through and looked at all the numbers. I don't know if you saw in the story, but I went back and I showed all the numbers of everything from yesterday that sold, and everything was in the green. Some things were up $17 profit. Some was only $2.12. Some was $3.50. Some was $6.
That's still great.
It's awesome. You're just going out, finding the books like you guys do. You get there. You guys, what I really love about you guys get there early, which I don't do. I'm going up early, so like I give you guys props for that. But you're just going out, finding the books, sending them in, and then just letting Amazon do the rest. And then you just sit back and you just count the money. Whether it's nickel and diamond at a time. I made a bunch of money this week and I didn't do anything. I already put that work in. Yeah. So as long as you continuously send stuff in, the money keeps coming in. So now I have eBay income, my wife's income, this, and now I have Amazon income coming in. So and then soon, not soon, but within 6 months to a year, I want to have YouTube coming in. I want to have my goal is to get my YouTube channel going. I've got 200 and some odd subscribers. I've only got a couple videos out, and I don't have the time to do that too. Like that's my problem. Yeah. If there was more hours in the day, if I had 5, if there was 29 hours in the day, I could have YouTube done no problem.
Yeah.
But in the 4 hours I'm given, I can't do it all. So hopefully I can get my wife to leave her job soon. And then I can kind of veer off a little bit, do a little YouTube and kind of get that roll. So I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Have you considered hiring a VA or something similar to that, a virtual assistant?
Yes. Yeah, I've considered it. See, that goes back to the little cheap aspect of me wanting to do it all myself and not pay somebody. But with VAs, you can pay them extremely low money and get a lot of value out of it. I guess I'm just not knowledgeable enough in the VA game. If I'm being 100% honest, I would love to know more about it. I would love to maybe get involved. It could be to where I could be killing myself right now. Like 6 months ago, I could have got a VA and things could be so much smoother. I don't know. That's part of the whole trial and error. Like, is it a good idea? Absolutely. Should I be looking into it? Yes. Am I going too soon? Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, again, everything you're saying, I almost feel like it's me. Like, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, there's so much to do. And you just got to figure out how to do it all, basically, and prioritize and do it the most efficiently way possible. And it sounds like you have a great thing going on between you and your wife. Now, you said your wife has a full-time job.
Yes.
Does she, when she's not working, is she also a part of your business?
Absolutely, yeah. She's been great. She runs mainly our Poshmark too. Like she's a Poshmark ambassador, so she does all the Poshmark stuff. She runs the Resale Revolution, our business account on Instagram. She runs that account. She does the majority of our pictures. She's been doing listings now recently, so she's also been, she got a little scanner now, so she goes out and scans books on her lunch break.
That's great.
She's slowly, getting into the mix so that now we can hopefully pull the trigger soon, have her stop her job, and then we can both just go full steam. Because we've had this past week right now is our best week we've ever had.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah, we've been steadily growing since the beginning. Like it's been great, but on eBay and just in general, like through all of the different platforms, like it's by far our best week. So if we can just keep what we're doing, have her get off her job and help, it'd be I just know it's gonna work. I just know.
I feel ya, Jerry. I feel ya. That's like everything you're saying is like what I said to Michelle all the time. So I totally feel ya. That's really exciting. That's really great. I have a question. Does your wife also like coffee?
Yeah. Oh, she does. She used to work for years at like a little coffee shop, like a little mom. She would work like the fairs. Like we have a bunch of fairs down here, and every year there'd be like a little fair that comes by, and there's different. She used to like travel and like work in this little booth and sling coffee and everything. Nice. So she's the coffee drinker out of the two of us. Cool. I'm like, oh, you know, like she'd buy a coffee or she'd get one from someone. I'd like take like a little sip and give her the weird face, like, I hate it. Yeah, she loves coffee. Yeah, she absolutely does.
I'm sorry, what is her name?
Stephanie.
Stephanie?
Yeah.
Oh, that's my sister's name. Very cool.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, so we're definitely I think you saw it, you liked it on our post, Instagram post. We have a shirt that we recently uploaded to Amazon that says Posh and Coffee Queen. So we definitely gotta hook Stephanie up with one of those shirts, and she's into that. All right. So a question I had about the platforms was like, which one out of all the different platforms that you use do you think is the easiest to use, and which one is your favorite to use and why?
The easiest, I would say, is probably, I would say Mercari's pretty easy. Like Mercari, you only got to upload 8 photos. Like you can't upload more. All you do is put the title, the description, a couple little things you fill in, and that's it. You don't worry about promoting it. You don't worry about, offer. You just make the listing real fast, put it up, and then you're done. Mm-hmm. So that's probably the easiest out of all of them to do.
Yeah.
That and Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace, same thing. You fill out maybe 5 or 6 little things, put your pictures up there, and you're done. Simple.
Yeah. So, I was going to ask you strategy-wise, do you ever like relist items in order to get more sales? I've heard that works really well.
Yeah, I've actually started dabbling in that more because everyone's been talking about that lately. So I guess the strategy is not so much to relist them, is to sell similar, right? So let's say you've got something stale. Let's say you've got 4 or 5 items that have just been sitting there and haven't really sold. Well, what I do is I filter them by ending soonish, right? So I don't want to end an item that just relisted 2 days ago, because then I'm wasting a listing, right? So I'll filter by ending soonest, and I'll look at which ones pop up in the red, which ones are going to end within 24 hours, and I'll go and I'll manually end those myself. So I'll just end those, go to my unsold, click on, or go through your store, however many you got. It depends how easy you want to make it. And then just do sell similar. So what that's doing is that's creating a new fresh listing, but you don't have to go through the nonsense of putting new pictures and writing and everything. And when you do this, a lot of times you want to change a default picture. Let's say your default picture is this one. Well, that didn't work for 30 days or whatever. So let's change up and let's do this default picture. Maybe in the title, you've got it written as, Sony, remote control VHS. Maybe you need to change it to VHS, Sony remote. Who knows? You tinker around with a couple things, hit sell similar. It shows up in the listings as a new listing, right? So if you're looking for, let's say, that remote, even though I might not be priced up in the first page prices, I might be priced way out of control. Even if I didn't promote it, it'll still show up at the top as new listing. So it just gets your item out there in a fresh space. And plus it shows eBay that you're messing with your account. Their algorithm loves when you do stuff and you're listing and you're doing all this stuff. So even if you don't, like some people say, well, I can't list 5 items a day. Well, don't. Just end 5 items and sell similar. Mm-hmm. That way you're still listing 5 a day, but you're just your old stuff. And eBay is still going to recognize it. Their algorithm is still going to boost you up there and say, okay, look, the flipping gals, they're over there relisted. They're doing it. Let's put them up there. That's just how eBay is. So the more you can kind of mess with stuff. But yeah, the sell slimmer is great. I love it.
Yeah, and interestingly, I've heard that kind of applies through the other platforms like Mercari and Poshmark as well. I have noticed that and I'm talking about like the algorithms, like relisting a few items every day is supposed to like increase your exposure so you get more sales. And I also discovered from a few accounts that there's this new software program kind of going around. I don't know if you've seen it, where it automatically like populates 4 different platforms. It's eBay, Mercari, Etsy, and then what was the other one? Poshmark. Yeah, Poshmark. And so, have you seen that one like going around?
I just did 2 or 3 days ago. My buddy Block Party, he's on Instagram. He had put like a little thing in his story. I watch the stories all the time, and I saw him doing. He's in the background, like, all right, so we're gonna click on this, and you hear his wife in the background, and all of a sudden she's like, ta-da! And then all of a sudden you just see it list from this platform to the other one. So I was right back. People started writing back. I'm like, bro, that is awesome,
right?
And my first question is it free? How much does it cost? My first question is, how much does it cost? Like, what's this gonna cost me? Because I can't be paying $40 for this a month, $40 for that, $40 for that. Settle down. Like I'm still kind of trying to grow. And he told me, I think it was like $40 a month or something like that. Send me for 30% off or something. But it's something I would definitely look in. When I'm doing more volume, I'll definitely look into it. Right now, it's not too much of a pain for me, at least not to where I want to pay $40 a month.
There you go.
But it is absolutely awesome. I would recommend it. If you have the extra money, if you're doing the extra money where you can throw out $40 to do it, go ahead.
Yeah, we're definitely excited about that, just because our time sometimes is limited. So
time is money.
Time is money. That's right. Yeah. Did you have any other questions for me?
Yeah, Jerry, what are the challenges, the most challenging thing that you've encountered so far in the 8 months period?
Living here. So right now I'm literally in, I'm in my parents' room. Like I don't have, like in my camper, we have the ACs always on because it's Florida and it's hot and it's loud. Like the AC's kind of loud. So I couldn't do this interview in there. And also the house is filled with people. So I couldn't do the interview in there. So my trials and tribulations are my location at this point. It's hard to get my YouTube going. It's hard to find a space to myself to record and to do everything when I'm living in a house with everybody else, and it's, I have to go back and forth. I have to come every morning, like coming to work. I leave the camper, come right in the door, come into to my room, and I do my business. So it's my biggest trials, I guess, other than living here, is trying to not buy everything. Because my biggest issue is if I feel like I can make some money off of it and I'm there, I'll try to wheel and deal and I'll try to pick it up and I'll talk myself into it all day. Okay, no, but I could do this and I could flip it, I could make some money. I'm out there working too hard and I'm not working smart. So that's my biggest challenge now is being, not pulling the trigger so fast, just passing up on certain items. Even if I can make $5-10 off of it, is it going to be worth my time to pick it up, test it, list it, package, ship it, and then just make $5? That's my biggest issue right now, but I'm still working with daily.
Yeah. So actually, speaking of that, we have a question about what is like your minimum profit margin that you go for items.
It depends, right? So there's things like I just packaged up a remote control. Like that's why I say remotes all the time. I only made like $5 off the remote. But for me, it didn't take anything. Like it cost me $0.25. It took me 4 pictures, like 4 quick pictures. You don't really have to do much testing. Do you guys know the remote trick to test to see if it works?
No, what is it?
All right, so I don't think I have. All right, so I don't have a remote with me. But say this is a remote control, right? You put your batteries in, and then you take your camera, and then you put it on like a front-facing selfie mode, like selfie mode, and like say you have the camera right here, and you click the camera into like when you're holding the phone right here, you click the button on the remote, and then you look to see if you see the little light, because you won't be able to see the little laser light when you're clicking the buttons. If it doesn't have the little light bulb on top, you're not going to see the little laser, so you don't know if what you're pressing is working. So if you point it at your camera and you press one of the buttons, you'll see the little red light flicker in the little remote sensor, so you know if it's working.
Wow.
So for me, I don't have limitations like that. If it's something I feel like it's easy and quick to flip, if I can pick up a whole box of remotes, quickly list them, and I want to make $5 off of them, I'm fine with that. In the perfect world, do I want to do that? No. Would I rather pick up items where I'm going to make 10, 15, $20? Absolutely. My limitations are I don't spend 20 to make 20. I'll spend $1 to make 40, or I'll spend $5 to make 100, but I'm not going to spend 20 to make 20. I'm not going to spend 20 to make 10. I'm not going to spend 50 to make 25. Mm-hmm. Like there's people that flip shoes that'll spend $40, and when they flip it, they're only going to make $25 afterwards. That's not my business model. I don't like doing that. I like spending very little and making profit. I don't want to have my money tied up and then maybe not sell it, or if I sell it, I put out so much to get back so little. I like to 10x, 20x, 30x. I don't like the half. That's my only limitation when it comes to stuff.
We're on the same page, Jerry. That's something that we quickly learned as well. Is you could easily spend, $1, 2, 3, 4, $5 on something, make a $20 profit margin, but you could easily, like you said, go out, spend $40 and make a $20 profit margin. And we learned that really fast at the very beginning. So we're on the same page with you. I did.
No, that's not my favorite. That's one of the things I don't like doing. I'm too cheap to go out there and like throw out. And there's even times that I'll knock myself too, because there's times when I'll go to a garage sale and somebody, if they don't want to haggle, I don't want to buy, right? So I can know that it's worth a good amount. They could be asking $8. It's a fair $8 they're asking. I know I can flip it for 60, but if I say, hey, instead of 8, would you do 5? They're like, no, I'll just do 8. I'm like, all right, no problem. And I'll just leave. I'll just leave. Most people will be like, okay, 8's still fair. I'm still going to make a good amount of money. I'm like, oh, okay, you don't want to haggle? You don't want to take my 5? Okay, bye. And that's,
Yeah, it feels that way. Or sometimes people get mad at you when you want to haggle with them. You're like, wait.
That's the way the game is. It's meant to haggle.
Yeah.
And what people don't know is if you don't ask, you don't know.
Right.
There's someone. I just picked up video games. It was all Wii games. They had them marked at $10 to $20 a piece. There was 8 of them. Well over $100 they were asking. I offered the girl $8. Her mom said, no, at least get 10. So I paid $10. So $10 for 8 games. And just one of them alone will sell for over $35 on Amazon. And
wow.
Make profit. Yeah. So
awesome.
But if I wouldn't have asked, I wouldn't have known.
That's true.
Say no, they're gonna no, okay, sorry.
Or get mad at you for asking, but they didn't. They took it.
I'm not gonna see that person again, so I don't. You're having a garage sale. The part of a garage sale is haggling. So if you've got it marked for this amount, that's just the starting point. Like that's a negotiation point. That's not without the door price. That's okay. So you want 10? All right. Well, how about 5? Okay. You want to be in the middle of 7? Cool. That's how you do it. No, it's marked at 5. I want 5. Okay. Well, here, have fun.
Yeah. Agree. And we actually have another question about like your stories. Your stories are so interesting. Everyone, if you haven't seen Jerry's stories, you got to hop on that because your stories are just as valuable as like a YouTube video. You put amazing content on there. Every time I watch it, I'm learning something new. And something that I recently learned from you was that you ship a lot of items in poly bags. And actually, Michelle's usually in charge of shipping, but sometimes when she's out or unavailable, I'll help her. And we usually use boxes. Are we making a big mistake doing that? Should we be using poly bags?
Yes and no, right? So I've actually made a little bit more of a transition to use boxes now. It depends what you're shipping. Like if you're shipping something where they paid a good amount of money and there's a chance that it could get a little messed up, use a box, But there's times where you could be like I just did one a couple minutes ago. I was right at what was it, like right under a pound. It was like I was at like 14 ounces or so, and if I would have used a box, it would have put me over the pound, and we're looking at $4 to $5 shipping versus $7 or $8 shipping with the box. So instead of using the box, I use what are called air defenders. They're like these air pillows, and you buy them on Amazon. I have a link in my little bio. They're like $10 for 330 of them, and they're just like air pillows. So I wrap, I'll make sure everything's kind of bubble wrapped a little bit, and then I'll wrap the product in the air pillows. I'll shrink wrap it, so it's just like a ball of just air covering the product. And you slip in the poly bag. You've added maybe like a half an ounce, maybe like 0.5 to it, not many ounces at all. It'll a lot of times get you to where you can ship it under first class. So it just depends on what you're shipping. Like I said, some things require a box, other things don't. As long as you pad it well enough. If you put a bunch of bubble wrap, you put some of the air defenders, it don't matter what you use a poly bag, if you use like shipping paper, none of that matters. I use a poly bag just because it's cheap. You can buy, I buy them for hundreds of them for, I think the cost is like less than 10 cents a piece, like when you break it all down. So I'm using a couple air defenders, which cost me nothing. I'm using a poly bag, which cost me nothing. And I'm sending it out with eBay tape that I get for free from my store. So I'm not paying shipping supply. Same with the boxes. I go to USPS. You go online, you get a bunch of different boxes. You make sure you use the regional. The regional boxes are the one thing most people don't use a lot. And regional A box is one of the best tools to get a product, that's not too big, but it's just heavier. Something that's a couple pounds, but will fit in, like this big. You throw in a regional box and you're looking at $8.25 versus $10, $11, $12, going the other way. So boxes, you always want to cut them up. Like I just got done sending some Jordans. They wouldn't fit in the regular priority shoe box, right? So I took 2 shoe boxes, put them together, and extended it basically another couple inches, wrapped everything up with my eBay tape, cut it down with my knife and everything, and then bam, I'm still sending it very cheap. I'm using their supplies, and I'm sending it for the cheapest rate possible. You always want to cut your boxes down. That's the biggest tip I can give people is don't use filler. Don't do none of that garbage. Use the least amount of filler possible that you can safely send it out in. Always keep it safe, but cut the box down, because there's times where an extra inch, like if you go from 18 inches to 19 inches or 20 inches long to 22 inches, that's the difference a lot of times between $7-8, $5-6, a couple of dollars. It kind of depends. So shipping's big. Shipping's one of the trickiest things that I'm still learning with every day. Shipping it's tough to get that part.
Wow, it sounds like if you save like $3 to $4 on every item and you sell like 100 items, you're saving $300 to $400. So that's a lot of money.
You're not buying boxes. You're not buying. People buy bubble mailers. They're like, oh yeah, I just went to Walmart, got a bunch of the bubble mailers, and I'm like, well, when you do the math, like you're paying almost 50 to 75 cents just for your bubble mail. Like that's profit. Like if you do that with every order, you're just giving away money. So to me, it just makes no sense. As long as you package it nice and comfortable, that's where the air defenders come in. If I'm packaging this phone, I'll put a bunch of bubble wrap around it. I'll wrap it in some air defenders, put it in the poly bag. Ain't nothing getting in that thing, and it's going to weigh nothing. It's going to cost me nothing. You just got to be creative. That's it.
That's true. Yeah.
You know who's good? Garage Flips. He is one of my favorite YouTubers to watch. His name's Lonnie. He's an older guy. He has not older. He's like middle-aged. Like, I don't know why I said older. He's like maybe 5-10 years older than me. Maybe my same age. I don't know. But he has this shed that he works out of. And my wife used to call him the boring box guy. Like that's what her nickname was. She would walk by like, watching the boring box guy again? I'm learning. Hold on. Now she knows it. Now she's putting him on in the background because she's trying to learn.
Wow.
And now she understands it's not about the hoopla and all the transit. It's about learning, and he's good at he's the one that taught me to cut the boxes down, ship it in different ways. Like there's so many ways that you can learn to save money, and once you start doing it, you look back and you're like, I've been just giving money away.
Yeah.
I'm just giving money away, and
Yeah, it's important.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, Michelle's gonna check that out.
I need to improve on my
Garage Flips. He's great. He's fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And I noticed too in your video when you were shipping something, you put a little card, and I think it said it was a discount. Is that right? Do you offer a discount or?
That was the old my first eBay store name was Discount Nation.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't think of the name for the life of me. I couldn't think of any name, and all of a sudden I was like, oh yeah, Discount Nation, and I ran with it. So I made a card. I went to Vistaprint. I made my own card. You can go on Amazon and you can buy feedback cards. Well, I don't want to buy anything, so I made my own. So I went to Vistaprint. I took my little logo, my Discount Nation logo. I put it on there. I took the Amazon words that were on the feedback card, and I jumbled them around. I added my own little touch, and it became my own personalized feedback card. So I paid $10, got 500 cards. So every card every order I ship out, I throw a little card in there. It's got my information. It's got, if you weren't satisfied, please contact us. Your feedback's important, yada, yada, yada. Just something to kind of give that feel to them, like somebody cares, and like, hey, it's like a basic feedback card.
Oh, okay. Thanks for clearing that up.
Oh.
I was like, maybe he's offering discount, like coupons or something.
You should, though. You know what? There's people that have the same card, and on the back it'll say like, use this card for 10% off your next order, which is a great idea, which I need to implement that.
So do we.
I'm glad you said that.
So, do you think anyone can do this as a full-time job and make like a living off of it full-time?
Yes and no, right? So if you've got any kind of drive, 100% yes. If you're the kind of person that starts something and gives up, no. If you're somebody that when you start something, you're determined to make it work and you're willing to put the work in, absolutely. And right now, we're not in a situation, thankfully, where we need thousands and thousands of dollars a month to live. We don't need that right now. So I was able to take the gamble, like it all worked out. I was able to take the gamble and try to make this work because we had limited bills. We had already been fine before that. Like we weren't hurting or none of it. We were doing great. So if you've got the drive and you've got the determination and the wantingness inside, absolutely. But if you don't think you can do it, don't do it, because if your number one gripe is, oh, I always have to work, I don't like going to work, have your own business. All you do is work, or at least that's all I do.
That's right.
It's nonstop. Whether you're out of town, whether you're on vacation, you work all the time.
That's true. Yeah, I have to agree with that. The reason we started it was because, well, a couple things. Like I used to do coding, and Michelle was bored, so I thought like this would be a fun hobby for her. She's like into vintage items. But we kind of got addicted when we started going garage and estate sailing. We just had so much fun, finding treasures and then flipping them. When you are able to do that, it just gives you an adrenaline rush or something. Yeah. It's really exciting to do. And so we decided, because we just purchased a new home, that we were going to try to make money to pay for our backyard, which was going to cost several thousands of dollars because it was a brand new home. And the HOA wanted us to build a backyard. And so that's kind of how this whole thing started. And we've been able to make significant payments toward that in the thousands of dollars. So now we are definitely on a mission to try to make this a full-time thing. So that's kind of where we're at. Well, you know what?
I was listening. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was listening to your podcast on the way home. We were driving back from Orlando, and I was listening to the one where you guys were talking about that, about needing to have money for the backyard and all that stuff. So it's funny that you say that, because I was just listening to that earlier. So that's good. When you've got a goal and you have a goal in mind. So when you've got a goal and you've got that wantingness to make it happen, you do it. And then when it starts to pay off, you're like, holy shit, we're doing this.
Yeah.
We're making it work. We're about to have a new backyard. We're making money now. Then it's like you said, it's an addiction. It gets you pumped up. Like you get to leave for the day and you're like, all right, well, let's go to this book sale.
Yeah.
We're gonna find all these profitable books. And there's any days where you don't, but when you do, the feel, even like I got like the hairs are standing up. Even talking about it right now, like it gets me amped up, because like you said, it's an adrenaline rush. You never know what you're gonna find. You never know what it's gonna sell for. You don't know, and it's like a slot machine.
Yeah.
I guess I can compare to that.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'd feel that little rush. Like sometimes we have to stop ourselves. Like, oh, it's addicting.
But it's absolutely a better way to spend your weekends too, because I've got friends who go out every weekend and they watch a movie and then they go to bars, and whereas we're hustling, we're making money, and yet we're having so much fun too. So it's certainly something that I think people should experience and understand why it's so rewarding.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we actually keep track of our sales from day one, and just like looking back at all the earnings that we've made is pretty amazing. Like how much money we've made, and and in 8 months, it's like that's like someone's salary.
And you did it, and you put in the work.
Yes.
You put in the work. You got rewarded. You're still doing it. You're growing. It gives you a purpose. Like you said, I can't tell you how many Friday or Saturday and Sunday mornings and Friday mornings I spent waking up hungover. Like you said, I would go out with my friends. We would go have some drinks, and I'd wake up in the morning. I'm like, I don't want to live right now. Leave me alone.
Yep.
Now I'm waking up at 6, 7 o'clock. Like, all right, what are we gonna go get today? We go pick up the father-in-law. Let's go get these estate sales, and let's go make this money.
So much more exciting. So much more fun.
Absolutely. Like she said, it gives you a purpose. It gives you something to do. You're using your time much more wisely, and you're making something out of nothing. Like there's this person that's gonna take this old camera. Oh, I just want $1 for it. You look it up and you're like, I can get $90 for this thing. All I gotta do is clean it up a little bit, make sure it works. Boom, I'm in the game.
Yes.
So all right, next time, what do we got? We got another camera. What do we got?
That's
it's
right.
Awesome.
That's right. Thank you, internet. Thank you, technology, for making this possible.
Absolutely.
It's fulfilling dreams. And we've been chatting for about an hour. We'd like to ask our final question, and
Sure.
And that is, how has reselling changed your life?
So I would say I've been able to get closer to my parents, right? So prior to this, I was maybe visiting maybe like once a week, maybe, like maybe twice a week, and for like an hour or so at a time. Like we're talking, like I can even look back and say there's a bunch of times where I wasn't even a good son sometimes, because I'm so caught up in my life and so caught up in what I'm doing, and I didn't come by as often as I probably should have, and then once, they had their situation and we moved back, we were only going to stay for 3 months. Like our plan was just to move into the camper for, 3 months, go maybe travel, maybe go buy a house somewhere else, And the longer that we've stayed, the better they've gotten and the closer that we've gotten to them. So like every morning, I even give my mom a shot every morning. Like she looks forward, she's like, it's like, all right, it's shot time. And I'll go and I'll give her a shot and everything. And I've been able to get closer to her. I've been able to get closer to my dad. I've been able to get closer to the family that I haven't. I feel like I know them now more than I did when I was growing up, because I'm here every day and I'm an adult. I'm not like this little kid just running around being a pain in the butt. I'm this functioning adult that's trying to look out for them, look out for myself. And so I would say that's been the biggest payoff so far, is just being able to be near them. And the longer we stay, the better they're getting. So it's like, it's hard for me to want to leave. It's like, all right, even though I want to be gone because I don't want to be here, I also don't want to be here. You know, like it's one of those things. But that's been my biggest payoff so far.
That sounds really lovely. Thank you for sharing that. We're really happy that it's brought you closer to your family, and especially glad to hear that your parents are doing better.
So much better. Like it's night and day. Like my mom was like, she was on her deathbed. Like it was to where we didn't even think she was going to make it. Like it was bad. And we were going to I had to take a week off from my job and stayed with her in the rehab place for a week. Like, cause she didn't have a movement at some points. And it was tough, you know, like, and thankfully everything works out. Everything, you know, it's all worked out. So I'm grateful. I'm happy it's all worked out the way.
Yeah. I mean, definitely it sounds like she, you know, she needed you around, you know, they both needed you around. And, and that maybe has given her like a reason to live. And,
absolutely.
And that's really fantastic. I'm glad you guys are able to do that for each other. What a blessing to be able to be around your parents like that, and them having you around. Enjoy it to the fullest.
I'm trying.
And it all works out.
It's you know, like I said, some days it's trying, you know, like having somebody remind me, oh, you got to pick this up. It's like, like feeling like a little kid again, but it's also nice too. Like my mom will make me grilled cheese sandwiches. If she knows I'm having a bad day, she'll bring the grilled cheese in, and it's like, she knows how to, you know, she knows what to do to make my day better. So it's been, you know, it's a gift and a curse at some times, but for the most part, I'm happy. You know, I'm happy they're happy. I'm happy we can contribute to them being here, and I can you know, make this situation better, but also still now make my own situation better. So the better that I do, potentially the better they're going to do, you know, because like the more money that I'll be able to make, the more I'll be able to contribute and get them stuff, and you know, all that other kind of stuff. Like I've got these big hopes and dreams, and I'm slowly getting there. So it'll happen.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure getting to know you. Thank you for sharing about your life with us and with the audience that's going to watch and listen to this.
Absolutely.
And we'll keep in touch. So, and of course, it's our pleasure. And maybe next time Stephanie can join.
Yeah, I would love to know how she uses Poshmark and all her strategies too.
Yeah, she's a little like on the shyer side, so she's still like trying to transition into like being used to being on camera and all that stuff, and I'm trying to help her with that. So yeah, I'll definitely make sure the next time that we do this, I'll drag her in here and make her sit behind the camera, and I'll make her feel awkward. I'll ask her a couple weird questions and then give her the crazy
Fantastic.
No, this was the first interview that I've ever done, so you know, it was cool to be a part of.
You did a fantastic job. Thank you so much for doing this. Actually, we do want to give away a shirt. We had announced it on our giveaway, so we're going to look at who's currently watching the video. And then if you could DM us your and your wife's sizes, because we'd also like to give you guys a couple of shirts as well. Awesome. So as a big thank you for doing the interview with us today.
No problem. I appreciate that.
And okay, so we do actually have people watching right now.
We've got 5 people.
Let's see who they are. Let's go ahead and pull up the chat. And let's see here. Are you able to do that? I think it's just right there. Oh. It's just right there, yeah. So just pull it up.
Yeah, I can.
6 watching now. 6 watching now, yeah. Are you able to do that, or here we go? I know.
Oh, here.
Okay, here we got it. It's our first time doing YouTube Live as well.
We've got Arthur Curry, Dwayne, Julie, a reseller's passion, Leslie's on. Looking for deals.
So if you are interested in one of our shirts, can you please just, those of you who are on right now, please go ahead and make a comment. Also, please go ahead and hit the like button if you're currently in there so our video can get some views and help out some, change some people's lives out there who are looking to make a little extra money like we are, or transition into a different kind of job where you work from home and you hustle hard. Right, Jerry?
Funny enough, Dwayne Dooley is my father-in-law, the one that's in the chat.
Cool.
The one that I go to all the estate sales and garage sales and all that. He was the one that me and him kind of started this thing in the beginning.
Oh, very cool. Hi, Dwayne. Thanks for watching. Your son-in-law and us.
Figure out how to do this.
So, so just in the comment section, did anyone, somebody wants something here.
Looking for deals says.
Looking for deals. Is that your wife by chance?
No, she's Duels Outdoor.
Oh, okay.
Dwayne Dooley's on.
How do we okay.
So, looking for deals says.
I'm a medium, LOL.
Oh, yeah.
So I would guess that they would like a shirt.
Okay.
We just wanted someone to comment who wants a shirt, and it looks like they did. So looking for deals, we're going to go ahead and send you a shirt.
Yes.
So we'll get your information. Actually, follow us on Instagram if you don't mind, the Flippin' Gals.
Oh, your wife's on.
You can DM us with your information. We'll send you that. We'll get that shirt sent out to you. There she is, Stephanie. Hi, Stephanie.
Yep, that's the wife.
AKA Duels. Is that her?
Yep. That's her, because you see Dooley is her dad. That's their last name. So I like this little nickname. I just call her Duels all the time. I'm like, all right, come on, Duels, what are you doing? And somehow it just stuck, and it's become her little nickname.
How cute.